Here's Dan Shapiro to help you find your edge, master your process, and own your future.
Hey guys, good evening everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Traded.com nightly wrap-up show. Hope everybody is doing well. Guys, take a moment out, click a like on the video. It'll help the channel grow. It'll help me, kind of put you guys in the right frame of mind. And hopefully I can continue doing a pretty good job for you guys to get you ready for the next day. Not next week, not next month, for the next day. So speaking of the next day, right, we are very, very close, as everybody knows, to the end of the government shutdown, the longest government shutdown in United States history. You can make a very, very aggressive case. The rally that we had from 3 days ago was on the news that the government was very close to reopening. Since then, the stock market has kind of been going sideways. I don't want to use the stock market. That was all-time highs. The QQQs have been going sideways. So what do we know? Okay, what do we know for the last 2 weeks? Again, I speak on data. I don't speak on my opinion. My opinion means absolute duty. Your opinion means duty. It's facts. It's data. So let's talk about data. For the last 2 weeks, okay, and everybody knew eventually this vote was going to be passed to reopen the government, and we knew that was imminent. But this is what we know for the last couple of weeks. 2 weeks ago, we started seeing big, gigantic leaders, the Microsofts, the Metas of the world, getting sold very, very aggressively on earnings. Okay, we saw the gas out, the top out, whatever you want to use on the biggest growth names that were going nuts for the last 3-4 months. The RGTIs of the world, the MPs of the world, the rare earths, the uraniums, all that jazz, right? All those stocks, the nuclear, the quants, anything that was going crazy, they stopped going up. So you had the leaders stop going up, you had the speculation money stopped going up, and then you had Bitcoin going for basically the 120s all the way back down to 100. So we knew that, right? We knew all that. We also knew what would happen if we lost the 5-day moving average. We were going to go down to the 10. We knew if we lose the 10, we were going to go down to the 20. And if we lost the 20, we were going to go down to the 50. All that happened. And then the headline came out over the weekend that we are very close to a deal to reopen the government. We gapped up and now we're going sideways. Now, here's the question, right? Here's the question. If you believe in data, let's talk about data, okay? For the last, let's see here, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. For the last 7 days, we've been below the 10-day moving average, okay? That is point number one. Point number two is we were already selling prior to the imminent reopening of the government, right? So we know that as well. Speculation, all assets of speculation were getting sold. We have not been able to get back above the 10-day moving average for the last 3 days, waiting on this imminent reopening of the government. So what is that telling me, right? What does that tell me? It's a very open question. I can convince you any way that I want, because I've been doing this such a long time, I could really convince you how I think the market's going to go. I don't want to convince anybody. I'm just trying to speak to you strictly on data instead of opinions. So here is what I do know, okay? We are going to probably get a headline in the next, 5 to 24 hours that the government is open, right? We know that. Now, the question is, knowing that we were about to reopen and it was all imminent, why is there's no strength in the market? Why is there a lack of follow-through? Why is there an inability to reclaim back the 10-day supply? It's not reclaiming back the 50-day supply, right, which would be the birth of a trend. We're just trying to reclaim intermediate supply. Why can't we do that, okay? If you look at yesterday, it was a very good structured inside day, right? Very good inside structured day. As I talked about in last night's video, the market had every opportunity to roll over, and we didn't. So we expected the market going into a day that potentially could reopen back the government to have a little bit more juice, okay? Unlike yesterday, the market was very, very inefficient, didn't have enough juice to go higher, didn't have enough fear going lower. Today was different, right? Yesterday was a choppy day. Today was different. There was nothing choppy about it. The market gapped up above the 10-day moving average, and before the bell rang, lost it very quickly, and all the value today was to the downside. Again, when something can go up, it again has to go down. And today's day was very, very efficient. And again, there's a reason why I want to start with these pivots first, and then we'll kind of translate what I think is going to happen for tomorrow. So Dash, right? Again, if you guys haven't learned anything from me or didn't care about anything I've said in the last 16 years I've been hosting this webinar, the one common denominator, and this is not a process that I made up, I keep on talking about earnings lows, just set an alert on these companies that blow up 10% or more and just wait for them to take out earnings low. It's one of the highest probability setups you could have on the board, regardless of your process. It really is. And you can see here, we started the day, you have Dash, right? Has not, this is even the earnings low, right? This is literally the earnings low. 194.64 is the earnings low, right? So it hasn't got there yet. But yesterday was the first day it took out a previous day's low. So once you get a previous low, you start the cycle of going back down, right? So Dash 198.85 and 194.64 that hasn't confirmed yet, or is a short, right? So 198.85 Dash is a short that was below the previous day's channel, as you can see. Came in about $2.5. Again, I'm watching the earnings lows, right? If we could start getting below the earnings lows, it should start a selling cycle. Again, it's called speculation money and negative catalyst. Stock is we're trading on borrowed time to go lower. So again, Dash went lower, nice little move there. Again, for all you guys who are swinging Dash, just wait for this thing to confirm earnings low. We talked about last night, RGTI, guys. What are we talking about? Guys, watch the earnings low. Watch the earnings low. Watch the earnings low. 30.24 is short, right? 30.24 is short. Here was the earnings low on RGTI, right? Took out the earnings low, traded all the way down to 28. Probably has one more day of selling. 27.40s looks like the next intermediate support. The common denominator is the stock comes out in earnings, they're crappy earnings, they rally for a day and a half, dead cat bounce, they resume, they take out earnings lows, the stock goes lower. So regardless of what type of trader you are, guys, just back test it, right? Just back test it with a million symbols. Let's see what happens when a stock blows up on earnings, what happens the next day or two after it blows up on earnings, what happens if earnings low. You'll see an incredible, incredible aha moment, and you should really consider adding it to your repertoire. So you saw Dash getting hit prior to earnings low. You saw RGTI get hit to earnings low, right? PLTR, again, this is when you know the market was not sustainable. PLTR 93.95, it went straight down. Not only did it go straight down and never even came close, right? Never even came close to confirming these levels. But now it's like a day away from the 50-day moving average. Again, we'll get to that in a second. CRWV, again, earnings short, folks, right? What's the common denominator? This is a beautiful short. It's my first trade of the day today. CRWV 88 short, that's their earnings low. 84.40. Again, guys, write this down. I already put this on here. 84.40 weekly chart is going to be a massive area on CRWV. So I shorted it. I shorted it off the earnings low. That was previous day's low. Traded down to 85. A couple of buyers came in very, very aggressively at the open for the 85 weeklies. But this is kind of where the big picture, right? This is where the big picture occurs. You see these you see the September lows, right? If CRWV takes out the September lows in the next few days, man, this thing has a lot of room to the downside. So again, common denominator, earnings lows. Again, find the database, start plugging into these symbols and see what happens when a stock takes out its earnings lows. So beautiful short on CRWV. Again, Qs 627. We've been talking about this in nauseum. It never got close to there. Google gapped up. Never saw 292 because they opened this thing up at 290, went straight down. Again, stocks got killed. And Tesla, it only took 28 attempts for this damn thing to lose the 34-day EMA. It finally lost the 34-day EMA and traded right to the 50-day moving average, 432.36 short, right? So here was Tesla. It took an arm and a leg effort, but it finally lost the 34 EMA and stopped right at the 50-day moving average. Why is that important? Again, the 34 EMA is very, very important, but the 50-day moving average is the birth of a trend. Above the 50-day, it's all good, right? It's all lollipops. It's all about candies. It's all about balloons. Below the 50-day moving average, not so much. Today, it stopped right at the 50-day moving average. Folks, if this thing loses the 50-day moving average in the next couple of days, it should test last Friday's lows. And if it loses this whole channel here, We'll talk about that when it comes, but I'm definitely watching this thing to lose, potentially lose the 50-day moving average in the next couple of days. And one thing you guys didn't see here, I just didn't have time to put on the Twitter feed, was Circle. I shorted some Circle as well. Today it blew up on earnings. I shorted this thing pre-market lows. Stock had hit pretty well. So a really, really solid day. Okay, really, really solid day. And the reason why I bring up the pivots before the actual day on the micro cycle, because unlike yesterday when everything was trading in a channel, we had a lot of names breaking down today. Guys, that's not what you want to see, especially ahead of quote unquote a positive event, right? You don't want to see that, right? You definitely don't want to see that ahead of a positive event. So here's my interpretation, okay? I've always said this throughout the years, okay? I don't care if you're trading for a day or you're trading 26 plus years like me. You got to have an opinion, okay? Nothing will ever happen if your opinion is wrong. You could be wrong theoretically 1,000 times, okay? You can guess wrong. You can be wrong. As long as you are not wrong financially, you'll be okay. So here's how I interpret it, okay? And again, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, right? Again, you have to have an opinion. Here's how I interpret it. That we've been in a sell bias cycle for the last 2 weeks. Other than the 2 days, right? Other than the 2 days, the reversal off the 50-day moving average and Monday session, we've done nothing, right? We've done nothing. Here's what I know, right? Here's what I know. I will be bullish, and again, tell me if you heard this before, I will be bullish and only be bullish if we get back above 627 on the Qs. Okay, that's it. That's literally the fine line. However, the fact that we've been in a sell bias market for the better half of the last 2 weeks, and we've been kind of discussing why and all the asset classes being pulled, what I think is going to happen, if they gap up the market, right? If they gap up the market on the reopening, the finalizing the reopening of the market, and we go red and start losing this 20-day moving average, it could get really nasty very, very quickly, and it could set the tone for the foreseeable future. I'm not going to be all dramatic and say, that's it. This is a sell, this is the top. The market's going to go to zero. Again, I trade day to day. I don't trade week to week, or month to month. I trade day to day because the day to day is only as good as the next day's momentum and the next day's value. So I'm only trading based on tomorrow. So if we get, if we get a PR, a headline that the government now is open, I expect on that headline that everything will spike, right? It will be very odd if everything did not spike on a headline that the government is reopening. The key is if they lose that gap up and start losing the 20-day moving average, I'm pretty confident to say if they start losing the 616.80s, 616 area, then we're going to go right back down to the 50-day moving average. Again, I don't want to put tomorrow into this super uber duper, do or die scenario. But, if you've been on the long side in the last 2 weeks and you've been seeing your portfolio kind of go up and down, up and down, up and down, 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 the last thing you want to see is the market give back a gap up on good news. The problem is everybody already knows this good news is coming out, right? Everybody knows. It's the poorest kept secret. So what I am expecting is if we get a gap up on the reopening headline, I will not be buying that gap up, okay? I will definitely not be buying a gap up because the market had every opportunity for the last 7 days to reclaim the 10-day moving average. I will wait patiently, okay? And if I start seeing stocks start getting sold one by one by one, I will be very, very aggressive to the downside because the market price action will be screaming at you what's about to happen next. If the market gaps up and we keep on going, what's the worst case scenario? We get long when the Qs start reclaiming back 627. Scary, right? So guys, don't be afraid to be wrong, okay? Be afraid of not having an opinion. Be afraid of not having a process. Be afraid of being afraid. Do not be afraid to be long. So let's see if the headline comes out tonight. Let's see if the headline comes out sometime tomorrow. Let's see how the market responds. Again, we know our channel to the upside, macro-wise, 627 to the upside. We know that the 20-day support is roughly 616.80s. And let the market, let the chips fall where they may. But have a plan, wait for that confirmation, and act confidently. Guys, God bless everybody. Have a great night. Just as a reminder, there is no video tomorrow. It's my normal day off. Have a great day. Have a great night. And with God's help, I'll see you on the field tomorrow. Take care.